Top of the morning. Top of the morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Another beautiful Sunday. We are blessed to be on God's green earth. So, just wanted to say hello. Hope everybody's doing well, blessed, enjoying this beautiful day. Y'all rose to see the sun shining, smell the good air. We are here again on My Moments in Hip Hop. I am your boy Blackwater Chaos, man. Like to thank everybody who's been tapped in and supporting. Everybody who's been coming through. Everybody who's been in the inboxes telling me they like what's going on. I appreciate each and every one of you. And we're going to continue to make this thing grow. This is not for self-purpose. It's for the purpose of everybody who always tunes in, man. Just a little more information about some of the artists that you might not ever heard of, or some of the artists you have heard of that you might not know as much as you think you know about. Today, I got a real special guest. This gentleman I seen go from 0 to 1,000 real quick. He's the definition of betting on yourself. He's the definition of grit and grind. He's the definition of not letting anything stop you. So I know it's only a few of us in here this morning right now, and we just getting started. Some people still getting the boogers out their eyes, still finishing off their breakfast. But I'm going to get my guy in here, Jazoe, man, because I already see you in here chilling. Always support Jazoe. I'm about to bring you in, big dog. Top of the morning to you. To the two people just tapped in. Mr. Naki
Oh,
himself.
I'm trying to send this shit to everybody.
Hey, do your thing, man. Do your thing. We just get started. You know, we try to get 2 or 3 more people up in here if possible.
Yeah, I'm sending motherfucking messages to niggas right
No
now.
worries, no worries, man. You know, we always try to get everybody we can in here, but we grateful for the ones we do have in here this morning, man.
Always,
So,
always. What's up?
so
There we go. I sent a few
as
out.
you do that, man, I just wanted to say, like I was saying in the beginning, man, you are the definition of betting on yourself. You're the definition of
Man,
grit and grind. You're the definition of not letting anything, and I mean anything, stop you. So how you doing this morning, big dog?
like you said a minute ago, man, the sun is up. We up.
Yes.
You feel me? That should be like, it sounds weird, but it'd be like a hard pill to swallow for me to be like, that is the blessing. You feel me?
Yeah, you know this. I think that's everybody, man. Especially with the birth of social media, people get caught up looking on this social media thing and seeing how other people portraying they living, and then you wake up like, damn, man, I don't got this, I don't got that. I'm going as hard as I can, but not realizing it's somebody this morning who didn't wake up, big dog.
Nah, real talk. That's real talk, man. It's funny you said that because right now I was just watching my boy. He's in Miami and shit,
Hmm.
right? So what? We went, we getting up and they on the beach in Miami, and I was thinking like, there's people out there, man, that like you said, they see shit like that and it bring them down. You feel me? And I'm not saying that to say that brought me down or anything,
Uh-huh.
but it's like you see people and you know people and you like, oh, that's cool, my boy's out there. But somebody else in the world that don't know him is looking at it like, damn, I just woke up and I'm just right here, like at the crib, like, I don't got this, I don't got that, but like, nah, nigga, you woke up, like, you feel, and in the crib,
Right,
like, even better.
right. Hey, man, I'll be honest. I used in the early days of social media and me doing my music. You know, I used to see. I know a few people that have made some major moves, and I'll be like, damn, I'm going as hard as I can. I'm doing everything I can, and I didn't make it to this point. what are they doing different than I'm not doing? And I used to have to talk to my wife, or I used to have to talk to my mom or my big sister, and they'd be like, they just break down the basics to me. Top of the morning, 100 grand, man. Yeah, they used to break the basics to me, man. You woke up, you breathing, you got your good health, you got clothes on your back, and you can go in your refrigerator and get something to eat anytime you want.
That's a 3P right there.
So, I think it's self growth within everybody, man. And like I said, big dog, you a definition of go get it, man. And that's actually how I met you. You was It was off of Facebook, and it's crazy because I just posted the job I was at when I met you. You was a part of Hectic Society. I don't know if you was a part of it or you was just with them, but I know you was with Psych Dog, a
Yeah.
mutual person we have in common. And I just saw the grit and grind in you back then. What got you? First off, introduce yourself, man. Let the people know who we got in the building, man, and where you at, man. What you represent.
What's up, man? It's your boy Jazoe the Juggernaut. Represent the city of Southgate, you feel me? 80s baby. Southgate my whole, that's it. So yeah, man, I represent LA, I represent Cali, you know what I'm saying? It's like my sports teams. Like people tell me, what's your team? Any team in Cali.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like that's it. I don't got a sports team, man. And if we want to break it down, like I just choose anything Cali. Like we got 4 teams of damn near everything that we get to pick from. So it's like we're a strong ass state. So I rep Cali, I rep LA, and then as you know, we just start breaking it down into sections. So I represent Southgate.
that's right. That's right, man. I get on here. I'll be excited to do these little interactions with people. So sometimes I get on here and I just go 1,000 miles away, and I have to slow myself down because this is exciting for me to be able to speak to people and hear some of their journey or hear what they, some of the things they have accomplished. So, like I said, I apologize for taking off out the.
Nah, you good. You good. That's what it is. You doing your thing, man.
I, I was
Yeah.
100 miles in,
You
right.
wouldn't want it to be all awkward and shit. Like,
Right. Hey, so look, man, you have an interesting story, and you you always been open, and you've also learned how to get a handle on this social media thing. So, um, like I was saying, I met you. I didn't know about your story. I just saw that you was grinding. You was doing you before this social media thing got big, and before this Instagram thing got big, when it was just Facebook, and probably before then. But that's where I met you at. Um,
appreciate that. Yeah.
what are some of the obstacles that you overcome to, to get where you are today? And I'm talking about in the beginning, if you don't mind elaborating.
Like as far as like building the brand and everything,
Before we get to building a brand
or
to build Jazoe, like the brand we're gonna get to, but you were
man,
Jazoe first.
um, I mean, I was shit. I mean, start from the birth. I mean, I was raised cool, single moms. Um, Pop's story is a whole other long story. You feel
Right,
me? But so it was those are single moms. She was doing good. She had a pretty good job. You feel me? I had some family members that was involved in the streets, so that lifestyle combined with my mom's made it possible for us to have a cool living or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
But as every single child, what I'm saying, especially a boy, starts looking for that father figure. Um, Never. My mom tried her best to try to like, you know what I'm saying, but um, it's not the same. You don't got a father figure, so I was really looking up to like people, like dudes, basically, you feel me? Whether it be friends or like a friend's dad. Like I might see a friend's dad, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And
right,
um, to a point where like your homies parents be your parents too type shit. You feel me? Like I was just attached to shit like that. And then you know what I'm saying? Is that started going on, man. I started getting more into that into the streets, um, getting to know people, and then like my mentality just changed as far as like the street life, the excitement of the street life. And then shit, man, and you know how that shit go. It go downhill. So, you know,
I dig it.
ended up doing a lot of shit, and did some jail. Never went to prison, but did a few years out of my life combined. You know what I'm saying? That just was a waste. Just trying to think that I had this shit figured out. Wasn't really into, like, I was always into music. I just listen to music. I'd be in trouble a lot, so moms would punish me, take the TV away or whatever. And I'll be stuck with like the radio. So I remember at one point she took my radio away because she knew, like, snigging his music shit, like, you take away his music.
Right.
You feel me? So then I started building model cars.
I remember those.
And then the model, right? So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna build these model cars. And then I started like thinking like, I want to put speakers in the model cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I would cut out holes and put the little earphones, like tuck them in on the backs and shit. Like, and then I needed to play the music. So that was my way of like, yo, moms, I need the radio back because then I could plug it in to see if the speakers work of the car. You feel me? So I flipped that on her and she ended up giving my radio back. And you know what I'm saying? And I was young, man. And then,
That's right.
I remember she told me do good and shit, right? And you can get what you want. You feel me? Like, do good the whole year type shit, and at the end of the year, like, you can get something good. And I would always be like wanting a dirt bike or some shit. I was young too, right? Like under 10 years old. So all her friends back then was like their kids was into like b-boying and shit like that. So when I was young, I was really around like the whole b-boy era, but I was young, so I was just watching it. And then one year, my mom had told me, like, what do you want? This was a trip out. This was 1989.
Okay.
My mom told me, what do you want? And I told her I want to go to a concert. And she told me a concert. She said, what kind of concert? And I told her it was a Beastie Boys and Run DMC concert.
Original pioneers.
Yeah, I did good that year. I got those tickets. She took me. Run DMC came down in a spaceship. Lights, lasers, and shit. Like, it was crazy in the stage, right? The door opened, nigga, they come out rapping. That was it for me when it came to like music and hip hop and all that shit, right? So it stuck with me. So going back to like, getting in trouble and all that, music was always my out and all that. Every time I was getting arrested and I was going to jail, I couldn't remember a phone number. I couldn't remember nothing in my fucking life. I'll go blank, except for music was always in my head. I could always sing a song that I never knew in the streets. So I knew music. You feel me? Like, how do I not know this song, but I'm in here singing it? It was like oldies, like, it's just music though. And I was like, why is this? It's sticking to me. But in my hardest times, it was sticking to me. So, you know what I'm saying? The music and the hard life of mine has always stayed on a continuous togetherness. It got to a point where, I was doing drugs and shit, and still that was like my out, where I was listening to like DMX.
Yeah.
And really listening to DMX and doing my drugs while hearing he's doing his drugs.
Right.
Wanting to help him, saying I need the help. Like, so I was attaching myself my whole life through this music shit. And yeah, man, the life I created for myself got real hard. Getting through it just took a massive change. And this is before I even started even doing music. But it took a massive change of just needing to give up everything, friends, friendships with people, because obviously those were the people that was around, doing these drugs and other things. We were living in Skid Row, me, my wife, and my two kids at that point for like 10 years already. So we had an opportunity to move out. And like the county and shit had blessed us because of us being relocated or whatever. So we was able to like move somewhere in Southgate, back in Southgate, and get our first apartment and shit. And it was like, you have to stop doing these drugs, bro. Like, you guys got a chance, right? So So I was still messing up like in the beginning. And then one day, you know, it was like Christmas around or some shit, and my mom's and my family was like, yo, like, we're done. It's over. Like, you got to quit this shit today. It's done. You got to go to rehab. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, hell nah. Like, I'm good. And they're like, hell nah. I've been doing this shit for like damn near 10 years. You feel
Yeah.
me? On drugs. And they're like, nah, you can't do this yourself. And I'm like, man, I could do this shit, right? So, my mom, long story short, is taking me to a rehab like in Palm Springs. And the whole way, I'm like, nigga, my mom about to spend mad bread because I'm a fuck up. You feel me? These are my choices. I had to start realizing, like, you got to start realizing your choices. You feel me? Like,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes,
that's a
sir.
hard one. But it's like, so I was like, my mom's not gonna pay for my choices. So she pulled over. We got into a big fight, man, and I told her like I'm done, like I'm gonna stop. Um, she brought me back. When I got to the house, she opened the door damn near, kicked me out the fucking car, smashed out. You feel me? I go in the house and I'm just like, all right, this gotta be for real. And literally from that day, uh, I'd never used a drug like that again. You feel me? Like I smoke weed, whatever, but I'm saying like, you know, the drugs I was on, like I never stopped. Like, and I stopped and it's like I went cold turkey. You feel me? From something that's really like it was destroying my life. So I started getting back more into like painting and shit, and then I started being around Psych. Psych was working on his
Mhm.
I think it was his, I want to say his second album, maybe.
Okay.
He was working on his second album, and he was coming around, you know, to our new crib and shit, and you know, I was just getting around him more, like you said, like what the heck the society and what he was doing. Um, I ended up getting like a real good job and shit at a hospital.
Hmm.
So at that point, so I was able to like, you know, get a computer. It's changed, you know,
Oh, it's
things changed
changing.
where I was like being able to like start growing and shit. And then remember it got to a point where Psych was like, yo, let's do, and no matter of fact, it was after you guys had did that cipher, because I was supposed to be on that with you
Hey, you know
guys.
what? Not
Waiting my moment on my waiting on my moment.
not to cut you off, but it was a song that when Psych was staying in Linwood, I think it was off Imperial or something. I came to the studio. He had a track for me to get on. I got on it, and I noticed I didn't notice this until maybe a year and a half ago. You were on that same song. I can't think of the song right off track, and I meant to tell you about this, but I guess you know we came and got on it at two separate times. But once I heard the whole song recently, like I'm saying about a year ago, and I'm like, wait, this Jazoe right here. I already have music.
I think it is waiting on my moment. Then I think I did that one
Nah,
too.
it's not.
But you guys did the
It's not
video.
waiting on my moment. It's a different song. I'm gonna get it for you, but watch. I'm gonna have it for you. I was like, damn.
I
But go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to intervene.
but but I had been seeing you before. I think I had been seeing you before you had knew who I was. Because when I started getting into the music with him, and I had to start seeing what was going on with the movement, right? So I was watching stuff and really starting to evolve myself in what he was doing and with the movement, and that's when I started seeing your face. You feel me? And I want to say it had to have been, there was no Instagram then, huh?
Nah, it was all Facebook, man. Instagram wasn't jumping yet.
So then off of Facebook then, right? And then I would see your videos, a couple that you had like, yeah, in the street with some cars, and like
Yeah.
I don't know the names and shit, but
Yup.
you feel me? Um so yeah, man, and then I started just getting the music with him. Well, not really, just like rapping and being in the environment. And then one day I had a buddy, B News, he had an event out in Pomona.
Uh-huh.
Um he had some people out here from Virginia, and I told Psych, like, let's go to this event. So we go, right? Psych gets to meet them. After this event, man, we come back to the homie B News's house with the dudes from Virginia. They all vibing out. You feel me? And my homie got a studio there. Like they vibing out, we vibing out with them, just having fun in the
Right.
room. By then, at that point, I had always written some stuff,
Hmm.
and this is what 7 years ago. Some
Yeah.
shit. It's not even. It was 6 years ago. You feel
Wasn't
me?
long.
I had written the song one time,
Okay.
and that was like in my like early 20s, and it was when some of the fools like that I grew up with, they had started rapping, and they had a group, and I was like with them, but I was still on my street shit, like making money, like doing other stuff. So I was just like chilling with them. And I remember that I was like, I could write some shit to this, and they told me write it, and I wrote it, right? When I recorded it, they was just like, I hope they watch this shit, nigga. They was just like, you could see it in their face, like, this nigga dope. And I seen it, and I was excited inside, and it was like, nah, it's not gonna work. I was like, what you mean? They was like, nah, it's whack. And I was just like, all right, fuck it. Nigga, that was it. I never wrote no shit after that again. Right? Because that wasn't even what I was doing. I was in the streets making money.
Yeah, you just trying something.
So like, I was just, y'all niggas call me whack. So like, fuck it. But I had seen it in their face because I was like, oh, I did it. Like, I could feel, you know, when somebody look at you like, damn, this nigga just spit some shit. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
You feel me? So I was just like, whatever. So yeah, they kept doing music. I just went on my street shit. So so later on, you know what I'm saying? What was I saying about that shit? Like going back into to the music. So me and Syke, you know, we were at my boy's house, and Syke ends up leaving. And I was there, and I stayed at the house, and we was on the studio freestyling and just having fun. They was recording an album. It was called Piffs and Parachutes is the name of the album. They was doing this album, and now the story of this music grow with how this shit go, right? The producer is the one from Virginia.
Okay.
He's sitting there making beats as you're writing. As I'm making this beat right now, you're writing to the beat, right? Now, as you're writing and you're recording your verse, he was working on a beat. So while you're on one beat right here, he was working on the next beat.
Already a step ahead.
A step ahead. They did a whole album in 2 days.
Yeah, that's the
right. Instead of them doing beats, and I was involved in that first night. So that first night, nigga, they was like, okay, so you doing this, and then the producer goes, yo, and then Jazoe, like, let's put him on this one, and I was like, what, nigga? Like, nah, I don't rap. This girl that's sitting in the studio, the photographer, she looks up at me. I never met her. She looks up, she goes, what you mean you don't rap? I told her, yeah, I don't rap. She's like, you've been rapping with these niggas for like 2-3 hours. Like, what do you mean you don't rap? And I was like, nah, like I never, did a song. Like I never, and it was like, nah, hell no, you on this one. And I'm like, man, nah. So they literally said, look, man, and I've never met anybody in that room. Only my boy who owns the house, Beano's. Wow. Right? They all get up and they like, we're gonna go in the kitchen and chill and eat because we've been here, like, write your verse, bro, and we'll be back. And they all got up and left me in the studio, in the room, like, are these niggas being serious? Literally, like 15 minutes in, I was like, okay, these niggas really aren't coming in. Like, let me write this shit. I ran to my car where I had my notepad. I was like embarrassed to like bring my notepad out. You feel me? Right. Like I said, I would write, but I would always have my little notepad. When I would go to a session where people invite me, I would just go to chill. I would do my notepad in the car. I didn't want nobody to know I rap because I didn't feel you're whack.
Yeah, yeah. That first impression.
Like, yeah, like I was just like, man, I'm not gonna go in there. I know these niggas dope, right? So I go to the car, get my notepad, come out. I wrote some shit and I told them like, yo, all right, I wrote it. Nigga, they all got up out the kitchen and came in the studio and was like, all right, let's go. Like they was really adamant about that, right? So we did the song and they put up another beat, like I said, and he was like, yo, you on this one too? They put me on 3 tracks on their album with these people I just met. And that producer is Harley Mack, and he's one of my producers now to this day. I got the new album that's coming out, Impetus. He's the co-producer on that with Jimi Kendrix. But you feel me? Like, with that being said, that's where the music started coming in. That's when I felt the confidence. We did a music video. Like, that shit right there boosted my confidence and kind of started helping me to get away from my mentality of like everything with the drugs and all the way I was
Quick
living.
question. So you said you got on 3 songs with these dudes, right? Are these the same ones that told you was whack? Oh, that's a
Nah.
different.
These people,
Okay.
yeah, this is a group. The ones that told me I was whack is the ones that when I was hanging out in the
Oh,
streets
okay, okay.
and were, you know, say Psych knows who they are too because they were a part of all of us. You feel
Right,
me?
right.
Psych was not a part of
I
that.
get you.
Psych was on his own. You feel me? He was just it was a group of people. But yeah, man, and after that, man, it was music time. Psych put me on 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 of his songs on his 3 or 4 songs on his album he was working
Hmm.
on. Which was another more confidence booster that told me like, no, people that's been rapping on this, you know, just been rapping, like, is putting me on their albums.
And you just starting.
Not, yeah, like not on a song, like on the album.
Yeah.
That's to me, I started, but I still wasn't catching the full confidence as an artist, but I was catching on to like, niggas is fucking me with this music shit. So that's when I started doing like performing and stuff like that. And I started noticing like I was changing the vibe of the crowd, but I was catching the love when I was performing and when I was coming off a stage from the ones that I was visually least expecting.
Mm.
You know,
That,
you get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like
Hell yeah. I definitely understand that, man. And so
that.
what was that moment you was like, I know you said when you saw the faces when you first spit that verse, and even though they said you was white, but what was that one moment when you was like, oh shit, I'm, oh yeah, I can do this. Like I'm in on this.
Honestly, so I didn't do music, and then I started doing this, like we said, with Psych, and then was like 7 years ago. I still hadn't felt that until maybe like a year and a half ago, bro.
Wow,
2 years ago, that I feel like, man, I got this shit. Like,
wow, yeah, cause you know,
I don't know. It's kind of hard to. When do we? Now it's kind of hard to explain. Maybe 3 years. Like if people say when did you start taking it serious? I guess when I started with Psych 7 years ago. But when did I really start taking it seriously personally? Like where it was like, okay, like
yeah.
it is, yeah, probably like maybe like 2 years ago. Like, well, no, because the store 3 years, 4 years, 5. Nah, like 4 years
I was gonna
ago.
say we did patience and persistence in like 2019, so you was already
But that's a personal thing because for you to ask me like, when did you feel like, I got this? It's like I know I mean, look at you get better with as the more you
right,
spit,
right.
right? The more you keep writing, you get better. So I'll be like, and then I'll do some shit and I'll keep listening to it like, look at you got this shit.
Right.
Like I still have
Oh yeah,
that little something in me. You feel me? But then I'll hear some shit that I did like, that was hard. Like, you know, so when I get excited, I guess it's another boost up on that.
def-
You feel me?
definitely, man, and I still have those moments whenever I do music, man. And I can understand how you say you still have little moments, you know. But I remember that one moment when I was like, oh shit, if I really want to, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? So I always want to see what that moment is for people and how it felt because to me, I was in a studio with 2 people who was, like you said, already doing big shows and they was, these dudes was on it every day, every night. I had already had different little auditions with different people and did a few things, but I remember that one moment when I was like, "What?" Like,
All right, let me.
go ahead,
As you
go
said
ahead,
that, something just hit, and I'll tell you why I say this time
go ahead.
frame. The moment I felt okay, I can do this was one of my performances. that I did with underground hip hop, like big crowd
Okay.
performance. To me, I think there's a difference between the music
Uh-huh.
and the performing as far as this whole
It
thing,
is,
right?
definitely.
So music, when you like, we know there's people that can do and fucking engineer some shit and fucking now all of a sudden it sound dope, or you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, you don't, not to say you don't have to have the talent, but the way it's, growing, like, you don't have to, because there's so many things that you could do to cover up and add on and do this and blah blah blah,
Right.
right? And I always think, like, when that person goes to perform on a stage, what are you gonna do if we just remove all the lyrics and now you just gotta do you? So when we perform, like us, we perform, nigga, to our instrumentals, and we gotta, the way we sound is the way we gotta sound. The way we projected it is the way we gotta
Yep.
project it. And when I go up there on a stage and I see the reactions of people and the way they react to my performance, to my song, to the way I made them feel, because there's a difference between just standing there and doing it and really feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, showing the people, you got to sell yourself right
Right.
there. And it's, I think the first time is like when I started really doing these shows and catching on to the person or the few people or someone or that really was like feeling that shit. You feel me? Like, my last good performance was like 3 months ago, and that was with the Flea Lord.
Okay.
The Flea Lord show, Underground Hip Hop, right? And there was some people there that was at a status where, we trying to get to that shit too, right? So I'm like, they in the building. So I perform, I hop off the stage, and one of them comes to me, he grabs me, and he says, "Have you ever had a bitch that never told you she was proud of you?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Nigga, that's my hook." And he goes, "I know." What, nigga? And when he said that shit and grabbed me, it told me I got this nigga's attention. I got this shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, so when you say, when did you feel like I got this shit? Like 2 months ago, when I was like, got this shit.
Well,
Um,
him
it,
reciting, I mean, he was locked into you.
I did something on that stage. I said something, the combination of all that shit in the fucking midst of a club, and you, like, I had caught your attention at that, whatever, that little very part, that was enough for you. And that's the beginning of my set. So now I know you watched my whole set.
Right. Right. What what what
You feel
what
me?
do you like? What do you like doing more, performing or recreating and recording the music?
It's funny because I heard this question. I asked somebody that, and now that I've already had this conversation with people, I would have to say the process of making the song and creating it would be the best part.
Born Vet said,
I think
Born
it's,
Vet said hashtag fuck jazz. Go ahead. My bad. My
yeah.
bad.
um Even though the process is that it is, even if you're like real like hard on
Uh-huh.
yourself, that process could take a while, or it could never sound the way you want, or okay, I'm finally done, or okay, leave it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, the creation, it's probably the most stressful part on my end, as far as getting it to wait. I want to give it to the world.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
so that part is, but that's the fun part, is creating it. Now the performing part to me is also as fun, because it's a different, it's a part of, is doing now what you love and what you created, but now that part is sharing it to an audience in a different manner. It's personal. So now I get to attach my music to somebody out there in the crowd, and I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show y'all what this shit's really about. Like, this is, pay attention. You heard me. Y'all pay attention what the fuck I'm about to say, like,
Dang.
because I'm gonna hit somebody, and I know I am.
That damn, that's dope. I mean, because I've always been a part. I love to create the music. So the stage part for me is it's more stressful up until the music comes on and I'm on the stage. Me sitting around or me walking to a stage, that all that shit, I'm an introvert, so all that shit is anxiety. I'm my hands sweating, all that shit. But once the music comes on, like I can drown everything out, and I'm gonna locate one or two people in the crowd, and I might just focus on them the whole time, and you know what I'm saying? I learned that early.
Cheat code for those that are watching. Cheat code. That was a cheat code. I'm telling you, performance cheat code. I'm telling you, I do it
Hey,
too.
so how did you come up with Jazoe the Juggernaut though?
Jazoe. So my graffiti name, I was a graph writer. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So my graffiti name was Jazz.
Oh, okay.
Um, I had a homie that would call me Jazoe from my crew. He'd be like, Jazoe, like brother shit. You
Right.
feel me? Like your brother name might be John, but you don't be like
Yes,
Johnny.
sir.
You feel
Yeah.
me? Like on some so yeah, he would call me Jazoe, and like it was like one of those things, like people just call me Jazz. My mom called me by my nickname. So it was always Jazz. And then when I actually started rapping, I was thinking of names, and come on, that's not easy to do, bruh. Like a rap name.
Well, that's back in those days. You know, right now you could just go off of somebody else's name and just. But go ahead.
Little lighter, little mouse.
My
I
bad.
don't
My
know.
bad.
But yeah, like, so, I was thinking of like, damn, how do I come up with a name and this and that? And someone that has always been supportive in the background, bro, is like one of my hood brothers. You feel me? Like nigga from the street that we was like really brothers. We lived with each other, like all kind of shit. You feel me? When I was in the streets, I was with him. When we was in the streets, I was with him.
Mm.
And he was the one that would really get me like even deeper into music, like before TDE and Kendrick, the whole thing was like that. Like he was already like, yo, those black hippies, and then I was like, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, so, but he's always been deep into into hip hop. You
Right.
feel me? Like his cousin is actually Mossberg from, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
shit. Okay.
So rest in peace,
Rest
Mossberg.
in
That was his
peace.
cousin. You feel
Salute.
me? And it was like, yeah, real shit. So he was around music. He was doing music with Mossberg and shit like that, right? So he was really tapped in, bro. And he was a part of, like, when I would rap, I would freestyle with him in the car when we was doing missions or whatever. Like we was just always rapping and playing, and like so when I started doing music, he was like, yeah, do this shit, nigga. Like I fucked with you like in the car so long, nigga. Like you got it. So when it was coming up with names, he told me, he was like, nigga, why don't you just keep your name, Jazoe? And I was like, yeah, but it just sounds boring. And I was like, then there is a Jazoe. Like, you got Nas,
Yeah.
Jazoe. Like, and I'm like, nigga, there's Jazoes already. And he was like, nigga, the Juggernaut. And I was like, nigga, that shit sound funny as Jazoe. Like, but it was like the THE, right? Like, Jazoe, the Juggernaut. And I was like, what does that even fucking stand for? And he's like, nigga, all the shit you've been through.
Mm.
And I was like, exactly. I was like, Jazoe the Juggernaut. He's like, yeah, nigga, because you just keep going through shit, nigga. You bust through that shit, nigga, the Juggernaut.
That
And I was just like,
perfect title.
yeah, and I was like, yeah, but it still took, like, the name Brand Nack Inc., it still took a long time for that pill to really, like,
Be swallowed.
for me to swallow that shit, like Jazoe the Juggernaut. And then I was like, Jazoe DA, the Juggernaut. Like, let me add a little flair, the Juggernaut. And that's when I started really liking it. And then just that was it. Yeah. My brother was the reason. That was the reason why the name really grew from my street name Jazoe, and then the Juggernaut process of me, just like you said, breaking through everything that I've put. I've been trying to change the way of me saying what I've been through in life, because like I said, I grew up cool and I chose to make another path.
Right. I
You
dig
feel
that.
me? So it wasn't what I went through. So everything that I put myself through
Okay, I dig that.
to this point, you feel me?
But
It is.
go ahead.
It's the Juggernaut process. It's the Juggernaut process. It's me busting through all. Every time I fall back, nigga, I keep coming forward. To fall back, I keep coming forward. You feel me? And now, as the Juggernaut today, as we look forward into it, like, My homie told me, "Dog, why you always so mad? Why are you always so this?" But you be, and I'm like, nigga, I'm really I really become the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is not he's not a villain, and he's not a good guy. He chooses what he wants to be when he wants to be it, depending on the situation of what's happening. That is what the X-Men character Juggernaut, like, you feel me? Like, we start breaking it down, like, and it wasn't, like I said, my brother's the one that came up with this shit, but now that I really look into the character of the Juggernaut, let's say, and stuff, and the meaning, like, the shit really it really was my name. Like, it was made for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
And sometimes people see that, and they can see that before you actually see it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that right there was dope, that he was that keyed into, he had to have really known you to be able to place that name on you. You did?
Man, we slept in cars next to each other together. You feel me? Like,
hey, yeah.
That was the street shit. You feel me?
Yes, sir. I dig that.
But yeah, so my name came from the combination of my street and then like my brother giving me the other half.
You know, I saw you post a comment, and I've heard this comment before, and I truly feel this way because of the beginning stages of hip hop. I don't know if a lot of people really understand this, the younger people in hip hop, but you said hip hop ain't just rapping. So what
rapping is rapping.
What was your how can I say it? What was your explanation on that?
Because hip hop is a culture. That's it. It's a culture. To me, it's a culture. It's always been a culture. It's the hip hop culture. It's not the rap culture. Like, you feel me? It's a hip hop culture, meaning it goes down to the way you even think. Like, you feel me? Like, you don't get up and think, I'm gonna dress hip hop today. No. you feel me? But they've made it that way.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, my wife, I can bring my wife in right now and she'll tell you there is not, and I'm not saying that this is hip hop, or I'm just saying this is the real I breathe and live this shit type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get away from the music, let's say. The even, okay, here we go. Rap. So that's a part of the hip hop culture. If I get on my phone, we get on my phone right now and we go on my search thing, I'll be looking at element stance or b-boy. Like, I don't break dance, but I'll be watching like b-boy shit. Like, you feel me? Because I did b-boy back in the day. Like I said earlier, I'm a graffiti artist. Like, all these elements is hip hop.
Yes.
DJing, b-boying. You know what I'm saying? MCing.
Graffiti.
But people forget this part too, bro. Like, the rapper wasn't nothing. Thank you. The rapper worked for the nigga. That was this nigga. The DJ was the man.
Hip hop start.
The DJ is let me take that back. The DJ is the man. We can't take that away.
Yeah, and a lot
as the producers,
a lot of people don't really know that or understand that this started in a basement from little basement parties where it was a DJ controlling the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Run DMC. If you take it all the way back, everybody always had a dope DJ. And like you said, the rapper has become more of the front man. But even if you look at these verses right now, I'm gonna take this one to a specific verses with the Locks and Dipset. I heard Jada Kiss and the Locks say their DJ High Tech that night kept everything on point. Yeah, they were the people up there killing the shit, but he kept everything on point. And it's a lot of people that's been saluting him for doing that. So that just tells you that, you know what I'm saying, that is the reason that's the icon of hip hop, the DJ.
Right. So, as I say, what's hip hop and rap? A lot of people that don't rap don't know that. So if you don't know things like that, you're not hip hop to me. Like, there's cultural shit. You feel me? It's a culture. It's not something you put on. It's not something that we flip on and off. When you get in my car, I put on music. I listen to rap music. Like, you feel me? Like, my wife always puts on like the R&B and stuff like that. Like, I have no problem. I know all the songs. You feel me? That's what I constantly go to. My style of dress isn't like you. Like, I'm an older cat, right? Nobody has ever told me. I should take back one little nigga, but he said, "You look like that. I'm trying to force looking the way I look. Like, the way I look is the way I look. People will be like, yo, nigga, you look nice. Like, oh, good looking. They're not like, damn, you old nigga trying to look young or no shit. You feel me? So to me, that means it's because I live it. This is me. Like, this is me, and it projects off to the
Every
world.
day.
Like, you feel me? That's why I have a streetwear brand. But it's just, to me, man, hip hop is a cultural thing. That's it. It's like anything else. You know what I'm saying? Period. It's a cultural thing. You live it. It's not a costume.
That's right. The Born Vet said the first MC was a DJ talking over the music. Yes, sir. And that is the truth. That is the truth. I appreciate that input. Hey, so where did the name Knack Inc., where did that root from? Because that's an interesting name.
So when me and my family, I mentioned earlier, had got our first apartment, we moved back to Southgate. I was getting off the drugs, and I had a couple people around me. One of them was a person that I used to do drugs with his brother, and he always used to tell me, like, chill on that shit, bro. Like, just because you're with my brother, like, you got talent. So he would take me to the house sometimes. Like, I'd be outside in the back with his brother doing drugs, and this would be inside, like, doing some positive painting and shit, and he'd come outside and see us, and he'd be like, yo, man, come inside. And him and his brother would beef because this one was, like, trying to get me, like, out the garage with this nigga. Like, you feel me? Like, you got talent, bro. Come over here. Like, come chill with me and my homies in the house.
He saw potential
like,
in you.
Yeah, like where my mom can see you, not back here where she knows you're a fuck up with my brother, you know, type of shit. So when I got my first spot, he started coming over to the crib, and we would sit in the garage, bro, and he would sit and paint with me. He would spend as much time as he could with me to make sure I wasn't fucking up during this time of me like detoxing, bro. Like, so we were painting in the garage to the point where, like, my wife would be cooking lunch and shit, and she'll bring it to us in the garage. Nigga, we'd be in there painting.
That's dope.
So with me and him, man, one day my son was skating. My middle son Eric, he was like getting into skating and shit, and we was taking him to like skate parks a lot. So he was really getting like, I want to get sponsored. So obviously the journey to skateboard sponsorship hard as shit, right? But he was dope. He was around the right people. He was just real young. Still wasn't really that brave about doing certain things, so it was kind of holding him back as far as tricks wise and stuff like that. And he was getting real like not depressed, but you know what I'm saying, like he wasn't feeling good about this shit, you feel me? So I was like nigga, don't trip, bro, we'll start our own skate team. So the homie was like, hell yeah, we'll start the skate, because we was at every skate park every single day, every day. So we was like, we knew all the kids, we knew everybody that was there, because we was at every park, like we'd rotate, so they knew us. So we like, man, we'll start our own shit. So we got a stencil, and we started trying to think like, all right, we got to name this shit. So me and my boy, he was an artist too, sick ass artist, right? We just going through all kind of names. And one day he told me Knack. And I was like, Knack? Like, what the fuck you mean, Knack? And he was like, yeah, well, Knack. I told him, what does that shit even mean? And I don't remember how he had came up with it. It was either something that we were watching, or I think it was probably like NBA 2K something, whatever. Okay. Like, and he was like, Knack. So the computer was next to me, and I looked it up, and it said a natural or acquired skill. And I was just like, Knack. So I started looking deeper. What's Knack? So there was a rock band called the Knack back in the days. Okay. And that's basically it, like the Knack. So I was like, okay, Knack. Again, that's a weird ass name, bro. Like Knack? I don't know. So he was like, Knack. I told him, how about Knack Inc.? And he was like, why the ink? I told him, because nigga, we're drawing. We're sitting here, we had pens in our hand. And I was like, silk screen ink, fucking like the whole process of this whole shit, bro. And we're like, Knack ink. So then we thought, do we put it apart from each other or do we put it together? And I was like, nigga, it's already a weird ass word. Let's just put it all together. Knack ink. And he was like, so we started, for days, bro, just writing it out in different ways, trying to really. And then one morning, I woke up and he used to come to my house early, before my wife would come, like wake up, type like early on the weekends and shit. And one weekend he came to me and he was like, as soon as I opened the door, we both said it, Knack ink. And we was like, fuck it, Knack ink. So we came up with the logo, like the K. I don't know if you can see it, but a little K drip.
Yeah, I see it.
We came up with the logo, and I thought, because at that point I had already went to LA Trade Tech for school and shit. I went for like sign graphics, like so sign designing and all that stuff. Yeah, in that time when me doing drugs and all that shit, bro, I ended up getting a AA in college somehow. Like,
Fucking dope, man. Salute.
Thank you. Good looking. So I had that behind me, and there was always that knowledge, that part of like advertising. It got to be something fast where people will always recognize it and they don't have to like read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Who has that shit? Nike, Adidas, any brand you could think of has a single logo where the moment you just see that shit, it's Wu-Tang, like the W. You feel me? Like, so I was like, yeah, so I was like, simple, nigga, the K with the drip because we do graph, like, some street shit. So that's what we added, the drip to it. And then we made a stencil and we sprayed it on the skateboard. And we went to the skate park and everybody was like, what is that? It was like, nigga, that's our skate shit. And it started, all the kids started wanting it on their grip tape. And we was like, that's it, nigga, Knack ink. We on. And it just stayed Knack ink from there.
All this time I've known you, I never knew that's what the ink was for.
Yeah. People always thought, like, shouldn't it be INC for incorporated? I'm like, nah, ink. I had an issue with he's no longer a homie, but so a person back in the day that was a homie because he was involved in a tattoo shop and he was my homie and he was coming around us at this time of us thinking about all this shit, right? And when he heard we added the ink to it, he called and he was like, what's up? We starting your own tattoo shop? I was like, what the fuck? I don't even tattoo, nigga. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, why you put ink? And I'm like, I told him, like, because of this. And he was like, nah, bro. Like, I think you're trying to, like, take my cut. I was like, what the hell? We're like, you're weird, right? So, boom, whatever. But people have thought that it was a tattoo shop. Even the first store we had right there in downtown, that tattoo dude next door, he thought it was a tattoo shop. And that's why we was having problems with him, too. So, that ink does get, like, used for different things, but that's what it's for.
Wow.
So Knack and Knack did start with two people, bro.
You and your boy.
Me and that dude. Yeah, and then we broke off just for the fact that, he wasn't allowed to do certain things as far as he didn't understand. And I don't think a lot of people understand the sacrifice it really takes to build what we trying to build, no matter what it is. I don't care if you're watching this and you don't rap, so you think you don't understand what I'm talking about. No, you do. Whatever it is you're trying to build, if you're trying to build a car in your garage, the sacrifice it takes to put $100,000 in your classic car. Come on, bro. It takes sacrifice. You feel me? And I don't think a lot of people understand the sacrifice that it takes to be, number one, let's say a rapper and have to do rapper things as far as going to shows. And if you want to take it further, then traveling. And it's not about taking your family with you because you can't financially take them with you yet. You have to go work. You feel me? So it's like when I told him, like, yo, let's go here. Like, yo, let's go to New York. I'm going to pay, but we got to go do this. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I can't not take my wife. Like, nigga, I'm not taking mine. Like, let's go. We got to go do this. And it was just so much of that he started getting into like fights with me because of his girl, whatever. And he was like, man, fuck that shit. Like, you can have it. Just do you. Wow. And I was just like, all right, cool. It is what it is. Like, you feel me? Like, we had already started something. I was the one that was really feeling it, living it, pushing it the whole time. And to this day, it still is. Like, That's it's a thing that you just live. Like I said, part of the hip hop. You just live
And
it.
that, you know, that explanation you just said right there at the end, that one word is what separates a lot of people from being successful, including myself. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot more than you're willing. We've even had this conversation. Like I've never been able to bring myself to sacrifice my time with my daughter. And I believe that's one of the things that's held me back. And I'm not I don't feel bad about it. But I think that's one thing that's always held me back. I just didn't want to sacrifice those moments with my daughter. But go ahead.
Now I have Kenzo. I have Kenzo now. He's 3. I have backpedaled back to what you just said. I don't want to miss none of that shit now.
Right. Right.
And it's hard.
Believe me.
It's hard.
But I can say I have saw you make those sacrifices and make huge huge steps. I've seen you once again. I'm gonna take it all the way back to when I first tapped in, and Kenzo wasn't here yet, but you still had Lil E. You still had your wife. You was coast to
Come on, my daughter.
yes, coast to coast mixtapes. You in Miami, coast to coast. You was in New York. You just went to New York with Young Baka. So you have made those sacrifices. A store owner, you know, you work a full-time job. You get off work and go run your store for the rest of the evening. And yeah, you do a lot of times I see you with your family there, but there are some days where they're not there and you just have to, you know what I'm saying, swallow that and see the vision that you have for yourself and your family and try to let that outweigh the negative. Go ahead.
What you just said right now is another part of it. Understanding you're doing what you feel you need to do for your family. Once you understand that that's your dream and nobody else's, not even your wife's or your daughters or your sons or your moms or your grandmas, they support you,
Right.
but it's not their dream. That makes it a little easier when you sit in that store by yourself and nobody's around you, because you understand this is your dream.
Right, right. Hey, and that right there is facts. And I've watched you live and direct from I believe from store 1 to the last one you just had. And it's been 3, am I correct? Or was it 4?
Yeah, this last one was a 3rd, yeah.
So what is that like being a full-time pops, being a full-time employee, and then being a business owner at the same time? What is that like?
It's hard, and basically a part like this last one, I'm closing it, and it's because successfully you gotta work the business, not work for the business. So me working for the business and doing that was not a good thing.
Okay.
And it was hard. It is hard. I mean, you know what it's like to. I mean, you have your wife and your daughter and your family support, and I see that and I know that. But you're the one in the studio. You're the one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard, bro. But it's our shit, bro.
Right.
We love what we do. Having a store and all that. It's not a part of the rap game. It's something different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's the business part of it. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like when we're building a brand, and I was trying to build this store as a store that was kind of different from the brand this last time with like the sneakers and shit, right? As you can see.
Sir.
but building the brand. Like I feel I did more in the streets, traveling coast to coast, all this shit, than I did having a storefront.
Mm.
Now, if I had, because I was
Yes,
hustling,
sir.
I was going to instead of waiting for them to come to me.
Mm.
So it was different. Getting the awareness out of what I was doing was different. Getting the product to people was different. Um, I mean, basically, if we go deliver it, it's like them getting Uber Eats,
Yep.
right? So, I mean, it's the same shit. So it's like people want stuff to them quicker and faster. So when we was, it's like a nigga that's watching whatever that sells dope. Like when they call you, nigga, you gotta go do what you gotta go do. Gotta go get your money.
Right.
Um, and it's the same thing with selling merchandise, as you know, selling the product, selling the shit, selling it out the trunk is like selling dope, nigga. It's like you getting your customers, you dropping it out to them, you meet them in the parking lot, you doing this, you doing that, but wanting them to come from their area where they at and having them come to your store, it's different, you know, and that's a business aspect of it where we have to look further than than the people that are close to us. And now it becomes a business because now you got to market this shit. Now you got to, you know what I'm saying? It takes different into play. So it was hard, man, doing all of that and still having a full-time job, still, you know, trying to do the family thing. Um, Feeling the same way, like you said, as far as like being away from my, like, I would understand our conversations. Now I understand again our conversations as far as the other side, your story, not your story, your what you would tell
Mm-hmm.
me, and I'll be like, I know, but it's the sacrifice, my nigga. But it's like now, yeah, you have to. The way I look at it now is what am I willing to sacrifice from my family now? If it's not productive, really productive to what I'm trying to do, or it's not me making money, like you got this great new job, you feel me? So it's like if it separates more time but you're making more money, and it's bettering for your family, you feel me? That's what's important. So it's the same thing with everything that I'm doing. What is better for me and my family, and how can I do these things? So I'm gonna close a store next week. I go to New York again. We'll be out there for 6 days on tour, which allows me to be able to go, what up, Unc? Baby, Unc, what up, Unc? Um, be able to travel and go do these things and go back into these streets. And now I feel that now I can honestly feel like we had this in the beginning of this conversation. Yeah, I rap. And I got the store. And I got, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel that confidence now. So now I have some backing, some more backing behind me where I can go out into the streets and be like, yo, I'm legit. I'm gonna look at the store, look at the page. Like I do this. Now I could push my music, get everything I'm doing into people's faces, shake hands, you know what I'm saying, and do what we were doing. And that's what I'm gonna be going back to. Now I understand the sacrifice again it's gonna take,
Yeah.
but now I'm gonna just choose. You feel me?
Right. Right.
Just be real choosy. I'm not trying to do everything. And that's it, man. And because this shit, it's not the music. We all good, man. Like I tell people, I'm dope, but there's a trillion dope motherfuckers out there with me. You feel me? And I look at people sometimes, and now I don't look at them like we were saying earlier, like damn, why is he? I be looking like damn, why is this nigga not on?
Mm. Right. Right. Real shit.
like, like I feel this way about this person, so it's like, why is he not on? What's I make me feel discouraged. Like, damn, this motherfucker not on. Like, I'm supposed to
And
make
this
it,
motherfucker
but
dope
it's
as
not.
fuck. How he not?
Yeah, you feel me?
Right.
But it's business. It's business, and you get your business right, and you get your right business connections and your relationships. I learned that this music ship is more about relationships. You might find an artist out there, man, and they verse costs you $1,500 or whatever, or a producer or whatever you want to beat, man, and they beat is expensive and blah, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you have a real relationship with these people and you walk into the studio or they at the studio and they call you to come chill and then you end up in there and all of a sudden you got 2 songs with them and you didn't even pay for a fucking verse or a producer, it's because you build a relationship with these people, man. And I feel, being out there is how we build those relationships with people. You feel me? We get stuck behind the screen, um, as far as, you know, trying to do all the networking or whatever, which is good. This is an added, but if you don't do this other part, it's not an added, it's just this. But if you doing this part and you doing this part, now you done increased everything. So, you know, I'm still a firm believer of out the trunk. I'm still a firm believer of traveling and going places where some people would look at me doing coast to coast and laugh and say, "Damn, bro, you're paying that money to go do that whack ass show and blah blah blah." Yeah, yeah, because I'm not just going to do that. That is a one night event. I'm gonna be out there for 4 days. I'm gonna go do this. Oh yeah, I got this tonight, and then this, and that. Like, how did I use that time that I was there? I used it wisely. It's a business
But
trip.
that's a smart.
So if I say
Go ahead. My bad.
so if I say Blackwater, like let's go to Orlando in 2 months, bro. There's this boom boom going on. Like, all right, let's go, because it's not a vacation. And people that have gone with me know, like, I don't go on vacations. I go to work. Like, you feel me? Like,
Yes,
we
sir.
put this shit
And
together.
that's a small-minded person that would say, "Oh, you only going to do that one show," because that means they only seeing the peanut. They not seeing the shell. You did. And with
Yeah,
what you saying about relationships, I have a guy. His name is Michael White, the Foundation. He always says this thing that relationships are worth more than money. And that's
definitely.
basically what you just said. Like, you know, if you got a relationship, that money ain't always the same thing. And that's something that I've learned over the past, I'm gonna say, year or so. I just saw this thing with this rapper, and he a new rapper, and I want to hear your thoughts on this quote he said. His name is Icewater Vizio. He said, "If you can hustle, you should be rapping. It ain't no reason that that you should be hustling now. Anybody that can hustle can rap." He said he just made $1 million in a year off of doing features. So anybody can do that. How do you feel when you hear something like that? Those are his exact words. Anybody can do it.
I mean, I feel everybody feels that they can do it now. And then if you put that out there like that, then you just add into the list of people that are going to come for that purpose, as opposed to doing this for the culture.
And he had a gentleman that was sitting right next to him. Right after he finished it, he said, "Hold on, you can't say that. Just because you made $1 million this year off of it, don't mean that anybody else can just jump in and make $1 million off of it." And I believe we send them, they're sending the wrong message when they say that first thing. Anybody can do it. And then you got people just thinking like, "Look, I'm finna quit my job and go rap." And they don't really have it in their heart.
Nah, I feel it. What you said, that heart part is a massive part of this shit, bro. Like, I don't know. When people say, "Oh, that is changing," or it's because you notice as you keep growing in this shit how people start to act and get and stuff. And I think the mindset of the way the whole thing is, the rap part of this shit is going,
Hmm.
is is exactly that, I guess. Yes, I mean, because anyone can be a mechanic, anyone can be president, anyone can be. So to say anyone can do this, yes, but if you're just saying it that way, it's like saying you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it, or you know what I'm saying. So yes, anyone can do it, but that's when now we start getting the island boys and shit like that. You feel?
Yeah.
That brings out the island boys, where now they're those like them. Are they being funny? Are they being real? I feel is mocking, which takes away from the seriousness of what we try to put out, what we're trying to do. Um, Adding that Weird Al Yankovic style to this category of what we're trying to do, as far as like tell people what's going on, because again, hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
rap, what's going on in my city, what's going on in our city, what's going on with our culture, what's going on in our streets, what's going on with our poverty, what's going on with what we need help with, what's going on, let's have fun, has all changed musically. That was hip hop,
Yes, sir.
informing our communities, informing the world what's going on in our communities, speaking to our communities, trying to get to our communities just like the church gets to our communities through church. Our part of it is getting to our communities through our words, through our music. That's why we have our cities that we represent. That's why, saying we got to get our city on our back is because we are telling something for our city to actually do that.
Yes, hey, those are big facts right there. Those are definitely big facts, and we've gotten far away from that. I feel like how you said we were in the out the trunk age. I feel like, and this is not to take anything away from anyone, but say a regular person. I'm gonna use this word because I hear it used a lot nowadays. A civilian like me and you, who are not a part of any gang, not out here with no mad street record like we've been out here in jail and doing time, and a lot of people know us from killing up folks. Nowadays, I feel like if you got a gang behind you or you have like a street record, and I'm not talking about something you spin, I feel like those people, and I don't want to sound crazy when I say this, but I feel like it's a little bit easier to get on because you already have a following.
Oh, I say that shit all the time, and I was told that's yes, that is true. Um, I feel that way, and I have had that conversation with multiple people that I've always said, if I was from a gang, I'll be on
Oh
already.
yeah. Oh yeah. You will have a lot more traction.
Because all I got to do is say a color or a hood, and that's it, bro. Now, if I say a hood, I got this much, and if I say a color, now I just fucking boomed it, and that's
And
it.
I'm don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away from anybody who's, because you do have some dudes who had a street record or part of a hood and something, and they real dope. But then you do have some that are dope because of their hood, if that makes any sense.
No, and and I don't think it's dope because of their hood. I just think it's they have, like you said, that following, and it's not. It's a bigger brotherhood.
And
You know what I'm saying? So,
like
you
like
know,
me and you had a conversation. We're not gonna say no names, but you said we were talking about an individual, and this individual has a nice following. But you said outside the gangbang world, nobody really knows who that dude is. You can't go into the store and ask for this gentleman's CD, or you can't go here or there and ask anybody if they know this gentleman, and they be like, yeah, unless you go into a blood or a crip set, or you know what I'm saying, and
yeah.
and that's go ahead.
No. Go say what you're
And I was
saying.
gonna say I feel that way about a lot of rappers, no disrespect, but I really see that, especially with this social media thing.
I think now it's just worse though. When we had that conversation was probably a couple years back, and we've watched this world change so rapidly in 1 year that in 3 years ago, the way fucking shit is and the way people think, and I think it's just now more simple minded, bro. Like I say it like this: the younger generation,
Hmm.
as always, and we can say they're the ones taking over. And just like when it was our generation, we took over. You feel me? And before us, they took over. Like our parents took over. They're in their generation. But like the thing I tripped my homie out with the other day, I asked him this question. I said, "How old is the new grandma?"
Hmm. Huh. 35.
I said 36.
35.
New grandma, right?
Right.
Now, when you go on social media, what do you see?
Oh
Twerking,
yeah.
blah blah blah, the body. So now your that's your grandma now. Like, you feel me? Like, things are changing.
Right.
The who how many kids are now growing up and wanting to be a president? What does that leave us with?
Nah.
You feel me? Do we have kids these days that grow up and say, "Yo, I want to be president"? Hell not. They want to be fucking TikTok stars. They want to be fucking online fucking celebrities. They want to be this other shit. You feel me? Like, or they want to be drug dealers. They want to be, you know what I'm saying? They want to be the known gang member because that's what they've seen. This is now what their grandparents that are 35 are still listening to for these. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the new generation of shit is just different, bro. Um, Older people getting attacked in these streets. Like, if you just look at it in general,
Right.
so the mentality of everything, this is the mentality that is overtaking right now because these are who's in control.
It's a lot of I feel like the like growing up we had to respect our elders. Like I always say that I teach that to my daughter and my son, like respecting your elders is huge. Like I'm I still don't curse in front of my mom and I got kids that are grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son is grown. So for me, I still can't I wouldn't feel right cursing in front of my mom. My mom will still slap the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? Just on some real stuff because that's just how we were raised. Like you're not finna go you don't say certain things in front of moms and pops. You don't do certain things to an elderly person. I I'm from my pops always taught me to respect women. So I still hold doors open and stuff like that. And I teach that to my kids. And I just nowadays I see women carrying grocery bags out of the store with a man that's on his phone. I see women pumping gas while a man is sitting in the car on his phone or looking at her, and I it just feels like the respect is gone.
Maybe the self-respect, because most of the motherfuckers probably don't own none of the shit. That's
I
why.
dig it. I dig it.
She probably got to open the car door to her own car and pump the own gas from her own money in her own shit. You feel me? So that go with it
Hey, I dig it. I dig it. But I'm gonna get back to you and your journey, man. I just had to, you know. So what still puts the battery in your back? I know you the Juggernaut.
too.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No,
I
we
know
good.
you the Juggernaut. Besides, no, not besides. What still gives you that go power, that Red Bull, that energy, those wings to be like, you know what? I don't care how hard I just feel. I don't care if not nobody liking this. I'm going. You just said you're on your way to New York.
I feel as of just recently, I had thought about this. Why the fuck do I keep going, bro? I said earlier about this Juggernaut, how now when I really look at who the Juggernaut is as a character that I never looked into
Mm-hmm.
ever before choosing of the name, it was just basically my brother saying the Juggernaut breaks through everything, bro. Like, you keep doing it, just keep. So it was like, just off of that, like, I am running with it. To this point of knowing that, like I said, he is a villain and he's a good person. He chooses who he wants to be. And when I actually look at me as a person, like, that is me, bro. Like, I'll be a villain, bro, but I'm also like fucking the complete opposite. You feel me?
Yes,
It
sir.
just if the situation goes that way, that's the way it goes. And it's just like, um um what was saying again? What was the question you asked me, my bad?
It's all good. We'll keep that battery in your back to keep going, man.
Oh, so what keeps me going? And I was just like, I feel God, or a higher being, or whatever anybody wants to call it. I do believe in God, but I do believe in um I believe in what, if you believe it, I'm not doubting it. That's what I believe
Okay.
in.
And nothing wrong with that.
If you're Muslim, because you know what I paid attention to, bro. Basically, whether you Muslim or you, no matter what, at the end of it, everything still goes to God. Muslim is still God. Everybody still goes to God. So I'm not gonna deny. Everybody just has their own perception of what God is. But at the end of the day, y'all keep saying God.
Right.
You know, so there's a God, and I feel that God, just like He did to His own Son, let's say, is doing with me as far as myself. I'm gonna make you strong enough to keep going through this shit.
Mm.
Don't question it. Just keep going. Don't matter how much this shit hurts you. Just keep going.
Wow. Okay.
And I feel that I've automatically been programmed to just be able to take this shit, bro. I don't want to stop. I can't stop. It's my life. It just is what it is. I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to take those leaps and bounds and the crazy investments or you know what I'm saying, like investments, having to spend this much to do this, having to take a trip over here, having to open a store 3 times and close them, but because I understood certain things, backpedal, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, bro, is hard. And why be able to do it? I don't know how, bro. So I just figure whoever God is the one that is just making it happen, because this is what's gonna happen. It just is what it is. You feel me? So now I feel more confident as far as following whatever I'm doing, or the brand, or me as a rapper, because I know this is not for nothing anymore. I've accepted that there's something coming, and that's all there is to it. I do believe also that not everybody here is here to win.
Hmm.
Some people are here to help others win.
Hmm.
You feel me? And if that's your purpose, like, that's your purpose. And that still means you were a successful person, because you succeeded in what your purpose was. So whatever, me doing my music or opening a store and people calling me and telling me, yo, man, you motivate me to want to have a store. You motivate me to want to do this. You motivate me to want to go on tour like next week with you, like do this. And like that shit means that maybe my purpose is here to do what I do, have the strength to be able to do it for other people, to be able to boost up, or to you know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? It's just something that I live now, and it's hard, it's frustrating,
Hmm.
literally, to understand that, like, why can't I just fucking go to work, come home, kick off my clothes, get a beer, pull my recliner back, lay back, watch TV, go to sleep, wake up, do it again? Why can't I just do that?
I
It's
that's
frustrating.
that that's that's not even in your DNA, my guy. I'm gonna tell you from the outside.
That's what I'm saying. You
I'm
feel
gonna
me?
tell you that
You
from the
feel me?
outside looking in. I just don't believe that's in our DNA. You've done a lot. You've accomplished a lot more than I have, and it's always been inspirational to me.
Nah,
Like the NAC Inc. In 2011, 2012, I had Get It Molded, No Breaks, No Limits. I got T-shirts, yeah. But being there with you through a lot of that first store, the buildup of it, and you getting it, the grand opening, um, it was like it dilated my pupils. Um, it got me to see the eggshell, not just the yolk in the egg. I'm looking at this small part of the t-shirts, not hats, nothing else, just t-shirts. Then I saw you, I'm like, wait, hold on. This dude is a lot like me. So it was inspirational for me. So if nobody else, and I know you get it a lot, but if nobody else tells you you're an inspiration, homie, you're definitely an inspiration to me, daily. Um,
appreciate you. Likewise.
from that patience and persistence video to everything else you've done. You've invested a lot in yourself. You've done, and I know we would never know how much, but musically, you've invested a lot in yourself. How did you build that relationship with Jimi Hendrix? Jimi Kendrix. I'm sorry.
Coast to coast. I went to Miami 1 year, coast to coast. I paid a little bit extra for coast to coast to go onto the VIP yacht party.
Okay.
That was like a 4 hour some tour during in Miami, like in the whole key, like on a yacht, fucking food, fucking producers, blah blah blah. And I was just like, all right. So I paid. I took my girl with me. Um, I paid for all that whole VIP shit. Um, some people will say, "Oh, you spent all that money to go fucking blah, blah, blah," right? To go on a yacht to fucking do this, right? Rottweiler was on the yacht with us. Like, there's multiple people on this yacht, right? So, um, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on this yacht just to. I feel you gotta be around these people. You feel me? You have to. Like, if not, how you gonna see them? How you gonna get this connection? So I'm like, all right, let me see what's up. So we get on this yacht, man, and me and my wife are at the top. The yacht takes off. Um, Dude comes up the stairs, and I look, and I was just like, Jimi Kendrix. And my wife's like, what? And I'm like, I didn't know that dude. So I go on my phone and I look. I'm like, yeah, that's that dude, Jimi Kendrix. I knew. I had like recently had just seen something. I don't know why, about him, and I think it was like when I was on like gearing up to go on the trip for the coast to coast.
Okay.
I was reading up on like the producers that are going to be at the showcase.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I was seeing who they were. So, so I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, Jimi Kendrix, right? So I go up to him and told him, yo, bro, like, you know, my name is Jazoe. I'm one of the guys that performed the other night, whatever. Because the yacht party was on the very last day of the whole tour thing. So I'm like, you know, I'm one of the guys that performed this and that. So we start chopping it up, and he was like, what are you wearing? Like, what's that Nac ink? And I told him like what it was, what it's about. And he was like, yo, that shit's like it's not you trying to be cool, it's you on some real shit. And I told him, yeah, bro, like everything about what I do is just like, you know. He was like, who's this? And I told him, my wife. And he was like, for how long? And I was like, at that point it was like 17 years or 18 years or some shit. So he's like, damn, that's like, yo, wow. I was like, yeah. So like he saw something in me at that point, right? He didn't remember that I had like my performance. So this was all like a fresh introduction, like, you know what I mean? So he ended up giving me his number, and he was like, you know, hit me up, and you know, we'll see where we go or whatever. So I was like, cool. Got home, little time passed because number one, I know everybody costs money.
Yes, sir. That's right. I got you.
And when you look at somebody's resume, you know who they are exactly. You know, there's no handouts, there's no freebies, there's no nothing. Like it's gonna be business, right? If you're doing beats for Jay-Z, what am I thinking of beats for the? Yeah, right. So it is what it is. So I don't call because I'm not there. You know what I mean? I can't. I'm not gonna make a phone call. I'm a believer that just because there's a door don't mean you gotta always walk through it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that messes you up. Sometimes you're not ready. Sometimes you put yourself in a position of like, you know, how much is? I'll come back later. Like, nah, like, be prepared. Have some money set aside, so because you know that conversation is gonna include some money.
Okay.
You know, so I got a little bit of money together, and not knowing how much, but assumptions of, you know, right. And I called him and told him, you know, I'd like to do some work or whatever. And he was like, all right, babe. He said, I'll send you some beats, and we'll go from there. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he sent me some beats, man. I'm going through it. I find one, right? And then I hit him up. And he was like, all right, bet, like, woo, 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 right? So as I'm already hyped, I'm writing, he hits me with like the price, right? And I was just like, yeah, okay. So so I sent a down payment. And I worked on it. When I got some more money, I sent him some more money. Did the track, flew out to New York. I took Shooter Rick with me. That's when I met Shooter Rick, and I took him to New York with me. Um, went on a little mini tour. That I met up with Jimmy out there. Um, he took us around. He was in the music video because he's like, "Look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this fully." And I was like, "All right, bet." He's like, "I'm gonna be in the video. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go here." I'm like, "All right, bet." So we went out there. We did the video. Um, he loved the song. The people that he's around loved it, and our relationship was basically I'll contact them. Yo, I need to be, and you know what I'm saying. It's gotten to the point now where, like I said, you build a relationship with somebody. Like some of these people, you don't understand that you might have to build that relationship with them by spending
Of
bread.
course.
Like
Yeah.
it is what it is, and it's not. You have to understand and you have to respect that because at one point you will be able to make those choices in your life also of giving somebody you for free or giving somebody you for a fee, like, or sometimes it'll be an in-betweener, like maybe, all right, like, I'll give you this but not for free,
Like
like,
it's a hell,
you
a
might have
hell
to
of a
ship me this,
discount.
yeah, like, you feel me, but there's got to be some, and our relationship has built that. So um with him, shit, we're like, I got an album coming out that is gonna be under his production. So it'll be released through under Empire and shit too. So it's called the album's called Impetus, and it's co-produced. It has some beats and stuff, production by Jimmy Kendricks, and then from my other buddy Harley Mack, who I told you had me on that Pips and Parachutes that night when he was making beats
Right,
and
right.
shit, one step ahead. So he's the other one. So yeah, we're working on that album. We're getting all the preparations and everything to finalize that already. Like the press, like the kit and all that shit with your bio and everything, like this real kit they wanted me to put together. And then I haven't said none, but I'm actually gotten 3 forward beats in from him, like over 100 beats. I got 3 selected already because I'm working on my new album. It's gonna be called PTSD.
Okay.
Um, it's gonna be it's gonna be the next album I'm working on. And I'll be dropping this first album soon. This will be my first real album, period, at all. So
Oh, that's what's up,
um,
man. And that's not just spending money, my guy. That's an investment in yourself. So
yeah, it
it's
is,
not
and
you just spending money. Like spending money is going to buy, you know what I'm saying, some Nike, some candy from the store. But if you're investing in your craft, which you like you said, it could take you to a point where you can next charge a person or give a person a discount on you. It's an investment.
yeah, yep. We're talk.
So
You're the investment. You're the product. So you gotta invest
and
in what you're doing and
so
shit.
when can we expect that Epidus album? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, impetus.
Impetus.
Yeah. Um, and impetus means what's the force that drives you, basically.
Mm.
What's the force that? So that album will be discussing like what pushes me, what motivates me, what makes me who I am, what it is that I've gone through that has made me the person that I am today. Um, we were gonna do the second album called Marco Kane, which is the Juggernaut's real name. And but I think I'm gonna save that one. But we got some stuff in the
I
works, man. Me
see.
and Jimmy, we got some stuff coming up. People say, man, you always put everything on social media. And I don't put everything on social
I
media.
see.
I put I put what's entertaining because at the end of the day, bro, this shit's entertainment. Um, like you said, I got the internet shit. I'll be waking up, bro, and I'll be doing shit on purpose just to fuck with people and shit because I know this is what social media is. Sadly, bro, you feel
Yes,
me?
sir.
Um, we use it as a tool, but like people, you want traffic to your page, bro. It has to be entertaining. That's it.
Mm.
So how do you entertain people that are so fucking easily entertained by Island Boys and fucking and just sometimes I'm like, I dropped Skittles this more yesterday on my page, like
I saw
Phil Supreme Skittles, and that shit got more views than fucking
that.
You feel me? Like what? Come on, bro. Like why? But that's why I do those dumb jobs because I'm like, this is just let me get that. My wife's like, why do you do that? And I say, just for the what's that shit called? Um, the way they move
The
your
algorithms.
Instagram. Yeah, just for the algorithm. You know, let me wake these motherfuckers up real
I
quick.
dig you.
That's it.
I dig you.
Um, because it's a business, bro. This whole this shit. It's just all a business.
Yeah, man. I ain't been
Um,
able to figure this internet thing out yet. But I ain't crying because I haven't. I just go with the flow. You know.
yeah, it's it's a demon tool, bro. It's really distracting. I've been posting less, and like me and my wife, I told her like I put my phone away now after a certain time of the night. Like I don't go through my social media. I don't do none of that shit no more. I let my brain completely get away from that. Now in the mornings too, like you feel me? Like I don't even fuck with it until a certain time.
Yeah.
Instead of waking up and going to it because that shit it's time consuming. It's just and it's controlling, bro.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It tells you what you want to what it tells you what you want to do or what you need to do, which is wrong.
So we don't got a date. We
But
don't got a date on that yet, right?
what are we in? Probably like the beginning of the year, maybe like February 1st. Maybe if I get it before
I
that.
didn't heard a prop.
Man,
I heard a
I
probably
thought it
and
was
a
I thought it was
maybe.
Yeah, because I be thinking everything's cool, and then I'll send it to Jimmy, and I'll be like, "Here," and he'll be like, "Okay, now I need this and this and that," and
Oh,
I'm just
okay,
like, "What the fuck?"
okay.
You feel me? He knows what he's doing, and he knows where he wants it to go, and we're about to do. This is gonna be the kickoff to it. So I mean, now there's finally now there's gonna be a machine behind what's going on. You feel me? Everything that we want and need is now available there for me. There's a couple other people that I'm starting to work with, people that have been really seeing what I'm doing. Which, to be honest with you, like I was having this conversation with somebody. They got a lot of music out, and they looked at me and my shit, and there's like like 5 songs or 4 songs on my Spotify or some shit. Like, there's no music out. Like, I have no music out. Like, you can't buy my music. There's no music out.
Right.
So he was like, "How the fuck?" He's like, "How are you doing it?" And I'm just like, "I don't know, dude." Like, with it's weird, like on my if you go on my YouTube there's songs,
Yeah.
but like music that you could purchase or down or do whatever stream, like there's only like 4 or 5 songs. But I just feel it's my presence, bro. When I go and I do performances, when I go and when I'm in the streets and I meet people, like you feel me, like I'm not meeting people and performing right there on the in front of them, like at the mall or you know what I'm saying. But it's like a relationship that I build with people has been able to start, to start building it. So now I feel I branded myself before becoming the artist, as opposed to becoming the artist and then branding myself.
That's right. Hey, and it is working, man. And you do some dope music, homie. I've heard a lot myself. I've actually been able to be a part of some. I've been able to have you a part of
Yeah,
some, and you have a distinctive voice. Um, I had a couple of people tell me that off of Patience and Persistence. Like, dude, voice is just it's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really ear catching. It like I told my guy before, it stands out. Uh, and
yeah.
that's always the goal whenever you doing this saturated music that we do. So so we got impetus. I don't want to say it wrong. Impetus coming,
Emphasis.
and that's
Yeah.
all recorded. It's just getting the business correct on it.
It's Yeah. I got some features on it, so waiting for people to send me they ask caps and all that, whatever, so they can get their credits and everything they need on that. Because like I said, this is gonna go 100%. At, like it's time to get paid off of this shit. It's time to get it right. It's time to get it into the right hands. So that's just all Jimmy's doing right now. So we got to make sure everybody that's involved in it gets their part. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope. You got
Everybody got to eat.
that's dope. That's dope that he has that belief in you, and he's willing to get in
Mhm.
and work with you like that. So since we got the music coming, I see all the Nike boxes back there. If somebody wanted to tap in and get some of that Nike Inc. apparel, get some new kicks, get some of the Supreme stuff you got, or any of your merchandise, how would they go about that?
And we got the web page now, www.nakinkmovement.com. And then, or you could just, find me on social media, Jazoe the Juggernaut, or on Nack Inc. page, either one. And send me some DMs and do it that way too. I'll be doing pop-ups, man, San Francisco and other places too. So, with the shoes and all that stuff. So we got some things planned, man. We coming to a city, a state, or a country near you.
That's right, man. Continue to pound the pavement. Continue to be that light, man, for a lot of different people, and be inspiration, man. Because that, like I said, you are. I don't know how many people tell you that, but I'm here to tell you, man. I appreciate all that you've inspired me to do, all that you've showed me. Just being there to listen to me through some conversations, through some rough times. Um, you don't find people like that all the time. A lot of people nowadays are just out for what they can get out the situation. So you have been one of those people that have been 100, 1000% solid. Even when you saw fake shit coming my way, you would give me that red flag, like, whoa, whoa, my boy. Double take a look at that, man. And you are definitely a solid one. I know you got a show tonight. I saw the network.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Where?
Yeah.
And where is that at?
We'll get it in. Thing is like in Westchester.
Westchester. What? You know the name of the spot?
Nah, I don't. Nah, I don't. I gotta look at it.
Okay, if anybody wanted to check you out tonight, they can go to your social media page and get all the info, right?
Yep, come right on my page. What up, Willie? The mammoth in the motherfucking building.
What's that?
Long Beach, baby.
What's that social media page one more time?
It's Jazoe the Juggernaut. Jazoe the Juggernaut. D-A. Duh.
Hey man, once again, I feel like I held you long, man. I just wanted to say I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate you stopping through, taking time away from your family to come fuck with me on my moments in hip hop, man. And we're gonna keep this thing going.
Nah, thanks for having me, man. And you know what I'm saying, chopping it up and putting me on your platform, man. And all that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I rocks with you, bro.
And I do believe that we're going to keep building this up, man, one step at a time. So once again, I thank you, my boy Jazoe the Juggernaut. Y'all make sure y'all go follow his page, check out all his information. And if you in the LA area tonight, go to his page and find out where he's going to rock that stage at so y'all can come through and support, man.
The network tonight, man. Jazoe the Juggernaut. Come the fuck out from 4:20 to 10 p.m., man.
Oh, it's an early show. Okay.
Yeah, early show, man. Catch me, because after that, you'll catch me live this whole week. We won't be in New York, baby.
Hey, that's right, man.
Young Bucket Productions, we out here working.
Hey, keep it going, my boy, and I'm be tapped in. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one, man, and keep doing this shit, bro. Keep going.
All right, salute, my guy. Thank you.
All right, fam.